Hey, today we're coming at you with another interview with Robert, who is a child adopted from foster care and also my son.
1, 2, 3.
Let's go. Thanks for talking to us today, Robert.
Thank you for having me.
What did you think about the social workers who came into our house?
It depends on some of them were just, to me, they were like just trying to get me to talk straight off the bat. Like they wanted to know everything off the bat. And they, I don't think, lasted as long as they did not last long with me. And the ones who did, though, who were like less like trying to get me to instantly talk about, like just trying to get it all done with. Like the ones who came in and just kind of played with me, talked to me about anything other than that. Those ones are the ones I decided to start talking to.
Do you remember the social worker who told you whatever you wanted to hear and then went and told your biological father whatever he wanted to hear and then told me whatever he thought I wanted to hear and we all got completely different stories? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think that did to our relationship and to our relationship with your biological father?
It definitely strained it.
Yeah, it strained it because we all thought your case was heading in different directions, right? Yeah. Is that okay to talk about?
Yeah.
Court also told your biological father that he had a chance of getting you back, right? Yeah. And were you excited about that?
Kind of.
Kind of, huh? Yeah, you liked the idea of playing video games with your biological father, I remember.
Definitely.
He had some games that you really enjoyed and you wanted to spend time with him playing those.
I also just wanted to spend time with him because he's like, because some part of like, I'm not saying you aren't good, but I kind of wanted to know more about my family. And my mom was definitely not the person to go to. My people I was with, not really. Even my older sister, she didn't know a lot about her family, I think, or as much as I wanted to know. So I wanted to know more, because she knew more about our mom's side, but I wanted to know more about my dad's side too.
What was it like when you found out that that the court really never considered putting you with your biological father? Was that hard?
Yes.
Yeah.
I started to probably dislike social workers even more after I learned that.
They lost some of your trust, and I'm sure they lost some of your dad's trust as well, right? By not being straight with you.
Yeah. Yep, or him.
Now, eventually, we had a really good social worker from the county.
Eventually.
Yeah. Our private agency social worker, did you like her, Shauna?
I miss her. She was probably one of the best, I think. Because she was never pressing me to talk about anything. Like, she was more relaxed, and all the other social workers parents like, tell us everything. We want to know the whole history. We want to know everything so we just get done. She was more like a relaxed person, just kind of like, she was one of the people who just enjoyed talking to you. Like, not even talk about, like, the stuff they need to know, just talk about almost anything.
Well, I think it was clear that she cared about both of us right from the beginning.
Pretty much.
And she stuck with us the whole time.
Yes.
How many county workers did we have? Do you remember?
I forget.
I think we had 4 county workers.
Maybe even a little more.
Yeah, maybe. So, in just those few years, we had a lot of county workers, but Shauna was with us the whole time. And it was clear that she really loved you, I think. She cared about you.
She cared about you, too.
Yeah, she liked us. Yeah, she was on our side.
Yep.
So, what ways could social workers be on your side or could help you know that they're on your side when you come into foster care?
I think they already have, your history before they, like they have like your record, they read it through, make sure they know everything. So they're trying to get you to talk, they just want to know your perspective. And Sarah definitely was gonna she definitely got me to talk about it more. But she wasn't she didn't sit down and say, okay, Robert, tell me everything. She's more like, she kind of sat down with, I think, a game or something even. Like, she already had something to play. Like, she brought a board game or something, or even card, I think. And she sat down and said, Connect 4. And she sat down, brought it out, and said, let's play. And that completely caught me off guard, because I was expecting her to sit down and say, okay, tell me everything. And she's like, no, she just like, let's play. And that caught me completely off guard.
Yeah, I think she brought Connect 4 and hung out with you, and you loved Connect 4.
Yes,
and I think you were pretty good at Connect 4 too, right?
After a while.
Much better than I was, I can tell you that. Okay, what else could a social worker do to help you feel comfortable, or even just to help you adjust to being in the foster care system?
In the short term, it's not going to help you. Like, you're going to hate it. But in the long term, like, they need to tell you the honest truth, or what they think are going to happen, not what you want to hear. Like, they need to tell you, because sometimes they think, oh, you're not gonna have this kid, but maybe something pops up so you are. So, like, I think they should just tell you what they know, what they can tell you, and just give you, like, an honest opinion of what's right then is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, what's likely gonna happen there. Like, I could see if the one social worker just told me what was really gonna likely happen, I don't think they would have lost my trust as much, like social workers.
You would have been unhappy.
I would have been unhappy.
Yeah.
But in the long run, it would have helped me more than, like, all of a sudden learning I'm not going to go to my dad. Like, that kind of hit me hard, and I think kind of then I'm like, are these people even trustworthy anymore? Like, that did not only affect my view of social work, that affected my view of almost every grown-up. Like, I always thought, are grown-ups even trustworthy?
Well, and for me as a foster dad, being told one story and then finding out that you were told something completely different by the social worker really confused me. And then sitting down for lunch with your biological father and finding out that he was told something different from either of us was also very confusing, and it makes it hard to have honest conversations with anyone without feeling like someone is wrong and someone is lying or what. I mean, it's really confusing to figure all that out. And so I agree with you. I think if a social worker can be straight with kids from the beginning, that really helps. Now, what about, because social workers do get packs from the court with information about your case and everything that's happened to you, but there's a lot, of course, they don't know that they do learn from you later, you or parents or whoever. But are there some things that some kids shouldn't know from their file? You talked about them being honest with you, but are there some things that might, like, what if there's things that I didn't want to tell you because I thought it might hurt you to know certain things? Should I tell you those things for the sake of being honest? Or should I wait and maybe tell you when you're older? Or should I just not tell you at all?
So, he still hasn't told me everything. I know that much. I don't know all of my case. Like, I
haven't told you everything?
Yeah, I haven't even seen all my documents, so I don't know what really happened much. I know some of them a long time ago.
It was the court that redacted information. So I don't know that information because it's blacked out. But really, I told you... Gosh, I mean, we've talked about...
He told me a lot, but we looked through the records once, but there's a lot of stuff that weren't there, and I think that's the problem. Like, I understand they don't want the kids to be hurt, or, like, that stuff, but because, like, with me, all of my stuff that happened involved other people most of the time, all the stuff that were, like, important to why I'm in foster care, so, most of the important stuff that, my dad probably needs to know, he couldn't, because they were blacked out because it involved my parents or sisters or something. So he couldn't tell. And I think, okay, but maybe then they can just block out the names, but not, like, everything. Like, that whole sentence. If, if the whole sentence said, blah, blah, blah's name, they said it just be like, oh, no sentence, gonna act like I never have. You could just block out, like, names, and if necessary, sister, dad, or whatever, but they shouldn't block out the important information.
Well, I can honestly say there's more that I didn't know than I did know about your case and your file, and because there was a lot that was kind of kept and blocked from me. And I'm not saying this is true, but what if there was something that I thought you shouldn't know and I was keeping from you? How would that make you feel?
That would have hurt. But if it's something that's really bad, like, you would think that can, like, pretty much, kind of hurt the kids severely, don't tell them. Like, if you think it can, like, destroy how they feel, don't do it. Because by the time they come in, they're probably dejected. They probably feel like the whole world is against them. So if you just give them more stuff that proves to them, that it kind of says, oh yeah, the world hates you, it's not going to help. Like, it's going to make everything worse.
Now, do you think there's a time that kids should know that kind of information?
Yes.
Like when they're older, or do you think it should just always be kept from them?
I think when they're older, when they're mature enough to handle it, I think then you should tell them.
And you love secrets, right? Like, so much.
I hate secrets.
You want me to keep lots of secrets from you all the time.
No.
Because it's so fun to have surprises and secrets.
I hate surprises and secrets. Like, anytime, because he has one time, or I think it wasn't something big.
Oh, didn't do it.
He kind of mentioned something without saying it, and I was pretty much obsessed afterward trying to figure out what he was talking about. And finally he told me, and I'm just like, I spent all this time trying to figure it out, and it's just something small.
When you first came into my house, you went through every drawer, every nook and cranny, anything you could. There was nothing that you didn't turn over and search through. And I think you had to do that to feel safe. Is that why you did it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think to feel safe, and also because all of a sudden I'm tossed into a whole new environment. Like, I'm not, like, unlike what they do at schools where they kind of give you, like, a sneak peek, like what they did with me when I had to go to school, so I kind of got the understanding of the environment. So all of a sudden it wasn't like I'm in this environment. With him, I was instantly tossed in there. I'm just like, wait, what's that? What? So I had to, like, to me, it helped me feel safe, and it also was my way of trying to figure everything out. Like, trying to figure out what this stuff did. Because, you know, in my old house, we didn't have a lot of stuff. So, you know, there was a lot of, like, stuff I've never seen and I was curious about.
Yeah, well, and I kept the live alligators pretty well hidden,
Yeah.
so that didn't worry you at all.
They scared me after a while because all of a sudden they knocked on my door and they wanted to play poker. And then I asked Dad if I said, and he said never play poker with alligators because they're always cheating.
They do. Yeah.
Always.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Appreciate that, buddy.
Thank you for having me on.
Yep, hope we can do some more of these in the future.
Yes,
They're not
I
too
do too.
terrible to do.
They aren't.
All right, kiddo. Thanks.